Right, welcome to this review, mini review really. We're zooming in and focusing on different legions here that are found within the new Chaos Space Marines Codex. Check out the full Chaos Codex review that's already live on the channel. It was on a top 5 units video as well. It's also available on the channel, and you should see like a mini series of all the different legions. I hadn't included the full rules for those in the Chaos Codex review, and I thought, well, it'd be a good idea just to make a series of smaller videos so you can pick and choose which of the legions you want to check out rules wise for them. I think it's a really good codex here for the Chaos Space Marines. Great new models coming through as well, so good work from Games Workshop. Do check out the channel sponsor. Link for them in the video description below. It's the Outpost. They discount 40k, discount Age of Sigmar, other gaming systems, paints, brushes, accessories, all sorts of stuff. Other gaming systems all available from them. Discounted rates. There's bring and buy available as well, so you can get trade in your own models, purchase models that have been traded in again at an even better rate as well. And they're shipping across the UK, much of the European Union, and if your order's large enough, you can get free shipping as well, so it helps to keep the cost of the hobby down. In this episode we're taking a look at the Word Bearers, so one of the sort of main Chaos Legions, one of the more well-known Chaos Legions here. My impression of Chaos Space Marines is, yes, they can maneuver and shoot, but it's getting stuck in and into grisly close combat is I think the main theme with them. Black Legion we've checked out previously, looked pretty good at doing that. We'll see what the Word Bearers can do next. So with Word Bearers, the Legion trait for them, like the chapter ability like Space Marines get, depending on what chapter you go for, here it's Profane Zeal. So each time model this trait makes a melee attack, if that model's unit made a charge move, was charged or performed heroic intervention, you can reroll your hit rolls. So rerolling your hit rolls across the board if you charged, was charged, performed heroic intervention. So we're off to a really strong start here. And then what's interesting with these is each time a model this trait would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, it's a 5+ feel no pain across the board for that as well. So interesting combo. I'm trying to think when you up against like Eldar, Harlequin type armies, Thousand Suns armies that are kicking out mortal wounds is where this would be most useful, but not too often. The main one there is your reroll hit rolls on the charge, so you are getting rewarded if you're going out playing aggressive and charging. You've got close combat units just getting to reroll hits. If you've got some really good melee units, then having that built into them is very strong indeed. Getting to re-roll large numbers of dice is very, very powerful, either for shooting or close combat. So we will cover the secondary. So you get a unique secondary for the Word Bearers here. It's Exalt the Dark Gods. If you select this objective, keep and Exalt the Dark Gods tally. Add 1 to the tally each time a Word Bearers unit from army successfully completes the following action. Okay, so it involves actions, which I'm a little bit wary of because your army is usually busy doing stuff like trying to kill the opponent, so you've got to be careful about doing too many actions and just, you know, units dropping out of action to go and perform these kind of things here whilst they're not shooting, not fighting and so on. Anyway, Exalt the Dark Gods action. One Word Bearer's infantry unit from your army can start to perform this action at the end of the movement phase if it's wholly within the centre of the battlefield. Whoa, so you have got to claim the centre of the table. Word Bearer's psychic units can attempt to manifest psychic powers whilst performing this action without the action failing. If the unit performing this action has a Word Bearer's icon, Word Bearer Dark Apostle, or Word Bearer's Master of Possession unit, this action is completed at the end of the turn. Interesting. Otherwise it's completed at the start of your next command phase. So it would be exceptionally useful to be able to move in, perform the action, finish at the end of your turn, so you're not going to get interrupted by the opponent. Otherwise you've got to just try and survive. In either case, the action is only completed if the unit performing it is still within 6 inches of the centre of the battlefield and no enemy units, excluding aircraft, are wholly within 6 inches of the centre of the battlefield. So you've got to clear and hold and keep clear the centre of the table. At the end of the battle, yeah, I'm just wondering, I can't see why the same model can't just keep doing it turn after turn. So at the end of the battle, you score 2 victory points if your Exalt the Dark Gods tally is 1. You get 5 victory points if the tally is 2. Is that all? 9 victory points if it's 3, and 15 points if you do it 4 or more times. Well, this is exceptionally strong. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is very strong. Yeah. So you really could build an army strategy around this. You know, trying to claim the centre of the table in a game of 9th edition is a very strong policy to take. It's going to drive you forwards away from your own deployment zone. It's going to clear no man's land and help you grab those objectives that inevitably are found in no man's land. So there's big incentives to do that anyway. And the armies that I have that tend to do well at the moment on the channel are ones that claim and clear the centre of the table, such as the Orcs, Thousand Sons, Necrons, all quite good at doing that. So if you built a Chaos Space Marine army to do that, just to plunge forwards, and I'm sure Chaos Space Marine is more than happy just to drive through the centre of the table, then you could build this secondary into that and get massive rewards for it. You've only got to do it like twice to get 5 victory points. 9 points if you do that action 3 times. And you're max at 15 points if you do it 4 times. If you really go for it, I think that's very, very doable. Yep. And you're on your hits in close combat. So I would at least try and take one of, if I was to do this, I would at least try and take a Word Bearer's Icon, Word Bearer's Dark Apostle, or a Master of Possession. At least try and take one of those models specifically to do that job. Yeah. Absolutely worth it. And then a few other contributing units just to do it. But I would try and drive to the centre of the table, clear it, and then just go ahead and do this. I can't see why, if you execute it well enough, you get the full points for that. So very good actually. I like that secondary, looking strong. So next, Warlord traits. 6 to choose from. With the limitations on command points now, it really has got to be worth it. So we're looking for some real powerful ones here. Particularly for Chaos, I'm thinking of ones that nicely help out in close combat. Either helping another unit out or helps the bearer out here in some way. So Voice of Lorgar. Add 3 inches to the range of the Warlord's aura abilities. Each time the Warlord chants a prayer or uses an ability in your command phase that specifies a range until the end of that phase, add 3 inches to the range of that ability. So, yes, okay. Exalted Possession. This Warlord gains the Demon and Demonkin keywords. If it doesn't have them already, you get 4+ invulnerable save against ranged attacks. You get +1 to the strength, attacks, and wounds characteristic of the Warlord, and you get 2 inches to the move as well. God. There's a ton of bonuses. Alright, well there you go. Demonic Whispers. Each time this Warlord chants a prayer that is heard, completes an action or psychic action or manifests a psychic power, or 1d6. If the result is greater than the current battle round, you gain a command point. Nice. Whether that's worth it or not, trade a command point to potentially gain some back. And then Master of the Union. In your command phase, you can select one friendly word bearer's Demonkin unit within 6 inches of this Warlord. To the start of the next command phase, add 1 to the strength characteristic of models in that unit. And each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, improve the AP by 1. So, yes, okay. You're a really good, well-equipped unit. Could be worth it. I'm guessing something like Possessed, maybe. Diabolist. Each time an attack is made against this Warlord, your opponent cannot reroll the wound roll. And each time this Warlord will lose a wound, it's a 5+ feel no pain. So if you need a bit of protection to add on to a Warlord, then that's the one to go for. And then Hate-Fueled Demagogue. In your command phase, you can select one friendly word bearer's unit within 6 inches of this Warlord to the start of the next command phase. If that unit is a cultist unit, it gains the Let the Galaxy Burn ability. Models in that unit are considered to have the Heretic Astartes keyword for the purposes of that ability. Right, so you can sort of upgrade your cultist. And each time model that unit makes an attack, if your army is engaged in either wanton destruction or wanton massacre, the unit is considered to be engaged in wanton slaughter for that attack instead. So yeah, it's alright, it's pretty good Warlord traits there. That Exalted Possession is pretty strong. Right, so then what you get here, this is sort of the reason why I didn't incorporate all of this into the main Chaos Codex review, because it would have made it into like a 4-hour video. But they give you a full page of stratagems, a full page of relics here as well for the word bearers. So you get Cursed Despoilers for 2 CP. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase, and a word bearer's core or Demonkin unit from your army is engaged in wanton massacre is selected to shoot. Select one enemy unit within 12 inches of that unit and in range of an objective marker. Each time a heretic has started his model and that word bearer's unit makes an attack with a rapid fire assault or pistol weapon against the enemy unit. Unmodified hit roll of 4 to 5 secures one additional hit. Note that combined with the 1 to massacre bonus itself, this means a modified roll of a 4+ scores additional hit. 4 pluses. But it's not for heavy weapons though. That would have been useful. But yeah, it's good enough. There's a unit I'm thinking of that it would work quite nicely on. Yeah, there is one particular unit. Just to let out like a blistering volley. No, it doesn't work. I was wondering about obliterators, but all the weapon types, whatever one you choose, is all heavy. I thought perhaps some of them might have been assault. Yeah, something to think about how useful that one could be. Fanatic Zealotry, 1 CP. Use the stratagem in your command phase. Now I'm thinking of like, I'm trying to drive through the centre of the table and clear it. So anything that's going to help with that kind of aggressiveness. Use the stratagem in your command phase. Select one word bearer's cultist unit from within 12 inches of friendly word bearer's character unit. To the start of the next command phase, you can reroll charges for that unit. And each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll the hit roll. So useful. Revered Hosts, 2 CP. Use the stratagem in the fight phase and the word bearer's demon unit from army selected to fight. To the end of that phase, each time model that unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll your wounds. So yeah, useful. Vengeance for Monarchia, 1 CP. Use it in the fight phase and a word bearer's unit from army selected to fight. To the end of the phase, each time a heretic has started his model, that unit makes an attack against an Ultramarines unit or against a unit with a successor chapter of the Ultramarines. You can reroll the hit roll and your wound roll. Ha! For 1 CP. Powerful if you're against the right target. God, very cheap. Yeah. Yep. Dark Pact for 1 CP. Use your stratagem in any phase and a word bearer's infantry character model from your army is destroyed. Instead of using any other rules that are triggered when the model is destroyed, you can choose for that model to make a Dark Pact. If you do so, mark that model's possession or position, then remove that model from the battlefield. At the end of the phase, roll d6 and a 4+, set that model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to the position you marked and not within engagement range of any enemy units, with d3 wounds remaining. Each model can only be selected for the stratagem once per battle. So yeah, you can get back up, but it is a 4+, so it's a 50-50. Only 1 CP though. Malevolent Covenant, 1 or 2 CP. Use a stratagem in your psychic phase and a word bearer's psychic unit from your army fails a psychic test. You can choose that psychic unit to suffer a mortal wound. If you do so, the stratagem costs 1 CP, otherwise it's going to cost you 2. So yeah, that's interesting. And in either case, the psychic test is considered to have been passed at the minimum required warp value without a double having been rolled, and cannot, this is good, and it cannot be denied. So excellent. Very, very good indeed. Brilliant. So useful. And again, your army might be revolving around certain psychic powers that like really have to go off, but then you've got this Malevolent Covenant here, which is exceptionally useful. Next, Apostle of the Dark Council, 1 CP. Use the stratagem before the battle when you're mustering your army. If your warlord has the word bearer's keyword, select one word bearer's priest model from your army. Add 1 to the leadership characteristic of that priest model. I guess these then gonna give that aura for other units nearby. And that priest model gains the following ability: Dark Council. Each time that model chants a prayer, you can reroll the dice to determine if that prayer is heard. Use your stratagem once unless you're playing Strike Force, which you can use it twice. So it's pre-game, just to make your Dark Apostle much more reliable. Which, you know, you'd be tempted to do, because you want them to, if you want them to be useful on the table, it's so annoying when the things aren't activated. It's a waste of time taking the model if it's not going to activate, so that's worth it probably. And then Hexagrammatic Ward, 1 CP. Use your stratagem in any phase when an attack is allocated to a word bearer's model from your army. Damage characteristic is changed to 0. You can use your stratagem once. So 1 CP just to negate a nasty attack coming through. Could be like a close range melter attack. So that could, again, could come in exceptionally useful. Nice, yeah, some pretty good stratagems there. Most of them are quite cheap at 1 CP as well. Relics then, there's a page of relics here. So, as eightfold cursed Crozius. So, model with the cursed Crozius, a cursed power weapon or power maul. So, there's a bit of flexibility there. It doesn't have to be the cursed Crozius. So it replaces it. So you're going to get +2 strength, AP -2, and a straight 3 damage. So that's pretty good. AP 3 damage is great. Each time attack is made with this weapon, if the bearer is a priest model and the target is not a monster or vehicle, a successful hit roll auto wounds the target. Huh. Well, that's scary. That's a great weapon. The eightfold cursed Crozius. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, not real nice, that one. Yeah, I would take that one. Crown of the Blasphemer. Word bearer's model only. The relic can be given to a cultist model. They get a 4+ invulnerable save once per battle. Before making a saving throw for the bearer, it can enhance this relic. If it does so, then until the end of the phase, you get a 3+ invuln save. A bit like Armor Indomitus. Malefic Tome. Word bearer psychic model only. The bearer knows an additional psychic power from one of the disciplines it has access to. And then you get +1 to your psychic test as well, so pretty solid. The Epistle of Lorgar, word bearer's priest again. The bearer knows an additional prayer from prayers to the dark gods. And in your command phase, if it's on the battlefield, you can chant an additional prayer it knows. That's not already been chanted, so again, a nice bonus for them. The Ashen Axe, so this replaces a power axe, exalted power axe, demonic axe, axe of dismemberment, or a cursed weapon, so you could just swap it out for a regular cursed weapon. You'll get +2 strength, AP -3, and 2 damage. And each time the bearer fights, if any enemy models are destroyed as a result of an attack made with this weapon, roll 2d6. If the result equals or exceeds the leadership characteristic of the destroyed model's unit, then until the end of the battle, that unit cannot advance or fall back. And that unit is not eligible to fight in the fight phase until all other eligible units have done so. So they're cursed until the end of the game. That one. Just don't forget those extra rolls in the heat of a battle. I need to remember all that extra stuff. Then the Armour of Diabolus. Word bearer's model only. The bearer has a save characteristic of 2+. Each time an enemy unit shoots or fights and the bearer is selected as the target of an attack, that unit's any of that unit's attacks after that unit has finished making its attacks, roll 1d6 for each wound the bearer lost as a result of those attacks. On a 4+, the attacking unit suffers a mortal wound. And then if the bearer is destroyed by those attacks before removing it from play, roll 1d6, and a 4+, the attacking unit suffers d3 mortal wounds as well. So it's like a bit of a kickback against the opponent. They try and kill them, they're going to take damage back, most likely. And then Baleful Icon. Word bearer's model only. It's an aura ability. As an infantry unit is within 6 inches of the bearer, each time a melee attack is made against that unit, your opponent cannot reroll the hit roll, cannot reroll the wound roll, cannot reroll the damage roll. Nice shut down there, gosh. That's big. If you really want to try and protect a particular unit, that's yeah, it's really strong. How interesting. Yeah. No, this is exceptionally good because it's just an aura ability, not like in the command phase choose a unit. It's just everyone within 6. You can't reroll hits, wounds, damage rolls. So pretty good. Pretty good actually. Yeah, that one's pretty good. The next after that's Night Lords. So, as I would say, word bearers are pretty strong, yeah. Really liking the secondary for them. Profane Zeal's looking great. There's some strong enough warlord traits, some cheap stratagems, and there's some excellent relics here. So I think word bearers players must be happy. Leave in the comment section below if you're liking what you're hearing here for word bearers, but I think this is one of the stronger Chaos Legions here. Just looking generally good all round for them. Do check out the other videos in the series. The plan is just to go through all these different legions here, just to break it all down for you so you can pick up the rules for each of those. Check out the full Codex review just for the whole thing, for all the sort of generic stratagems, warlord traits and so on. It's all covered. Go through the stat lines as well, points, values and so on. All covered in the Chaos Space Marine Codex review. Top 5 units is on my top 5 favourites, strongest units that I think for the Chaos Space Marines as well. So lots of content at the moment for Chaos Space Marines. And then for Discount 40k, link below for the Outpost. Keep a look out for more videos, more reviews. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.